story time. So, how did me and my husband meet? It's a funny old story, that. So, I was in a relationship for 5 years with a man, and we had moved to Texas to start a new life. Me, him, and my kids. We had moved in with my sister. Well, we sorted our stuff out. She had a great big huge house. And yeah, so we moved there. Anyway, while we were there, my boyfriend's father had a heart attack while he was driving and hit a bus head on. So we took off back to Indiana to check on him while he was in the hospital. And it was really bad. It was really, really bad. He was having memory problems, all kinds of stuff. He had a girlfriend that he'd been with for years and years and years. And she was a nurse, but she wasn't going to be able to take care of him full time. So we went back to Texas and we chatted and we talked about it. And he really wanted to move back to Indiana, and we were going to move into his father's house so that we could help take care of his father. So we packed all our stuff up, Beverly Hillbillies style. He was a professional mover, so he knew how to pack the things. So we packed everything up on the pickup truck, shrunk wrapped it, and drove back to Indiana. On the way, crossing the Indiana-Kentucky state line, there's a big old bridge you go across. Well, while we were crossing that bridge, the transmission went out. By the time we got across the bridge and found a place to pull over, the truck was on fire. Basically, everything I owned went up in flames. Anyway, get to his father's house after a couple days. Actually, within like a week, maybe 2 at the most. It became very apparent that we were not there for his father. He had started chatting, apparently, to his best friend's girlfriend, and they were carrying on an affair online. When we had come down to check on his father, it had escalated, and that's the real reason why we came back. So, I found this all out. The night I found it all out, I was very upset. I went online, and this is way back in the day of Yahoo chats. And so I went into some tech chat rooms and was looking for somebody to give me a virus. While I was doing that, I was also in a political sciences chat room and just looking for a place to vent my anger. There was a guy in there that was having a fight, as it were, with someone else, and I chose a side. And I chose his side. And I still remember that he was Lone Knight. I was Rebel Rose UK, and he was fighting with a gentleman called Biggie Long. Anyway, Biggie Long ended up kicking Lone Knight out of the chat. Lone Knight messaged me, asking me to type things for him. I did. He told me, Rebel Rose, I love you. Will you marry me? I joked, only if it's a white wedding, because I'm a huge Billy Idol fan. Anyway, that was the beginning right there. We didn't date. We were just friends. He was going through a divorce. I was going through the shit I was going through. And we just talked. For over a year, we just talked. For actually close to 2 years. I even dated somebody in between there. I'm sure he dated someone as well, but we just talked and we were just friends. But that's how I met my husband, was online. That's how somebody from Indianapolis meets somebody from Crawley, UK. And yeah, after a couple years, we started getting romantic online. And then it was decided we wanted to meet, so I flew over on Valentine's Day, and we met in person, and I spent 10 days, and it was all love and romance. And then I went home, back to America, chatted to my mom and kids, told them I really thought it was going to be something, that I'd like to go and spend more time there. So I got 2 jobs and worked my ass off for a couple months, made sure my mom and kids were taken care of, and flew over to the UK for 6 months. Spent 6 months there living with my husband. Flew back for Christmas, and we got married. My kids said, okay. You know, we had the whole chat. My kids were going to move over. Went back to the UK with my visa, started working, got the money up for my kids to come over. My kids decided that they wanted to spend the rest of their high school years in America. But anyway, yeah. When I first met him, I thought he was an American. Rebel Rose UK. He thought that stood for United Kingdom. He thought I was British. We quickly found out that, you know, we weren't who the other one thought, and that's why we were just friends to begin with. But yeah, that's the story of how I met my husband.